have been proudly serving the people of this community since 1918. Service is our motto. The poor, the rich, the middle class, and all are given the best of care and attention at all times. You have the privilege to select what you want. In your time of need, contact the capable, the competent, and the dependable staff of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home who is genuinely concerned with your care. At Jwwilliams Funeral Home, you are aptly served by the proprietor president, Deacon Arthur L. Parker, who continues the traditions and values set forth by the past president, Dr. Napoleon Williams. Your announcers for the Jwwilliams Funeral Home Sunday morning program are Deacon Arthur L. Parker, Reverend Isaac H. Owens, Mrs. Calandra Wilkerson Parker, Minister Frankie Harmon, Ms. Sandra Johnson, and Deacon Earl Clark, Jr. Thank you, and good morning, friends. We come to you this morning to bring announcements, dedications, and songs. We certainly hope that your day may be brighter after viewing our program. The family of Ms. Martha May Hayes of Cordele, Georgia, the family of Mr. Scotty Andre West of Cordele, Georgia, the family of beloved Professor Dr. Queen Herring Brown of Cordele, Georgia, the family of Mr. Christopher Lopez King Jr. of Cordele, Georgia, the family of Miss Melicia Ann McLeod of Cordele, Georgia, would like to thank their many friends for the food, the flowers, the condolences, and all other expressions of sympathy and kindness shown to them during their hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. Ms. Martha May Hayes, affectionately known as Mama, age 77, of 922 Pateville Heights Circle, Cordele, Georgia, died Friday, March 29th on her birthday at her residence. The funeral service for Ms. Martha May Hayes, affectionately known as Mama, was held Thursday, April 4th, in the chapel of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. Her pastor, Reverend Gregory Williams, pastor of the Emmanuel Baptist Church, officiated. The burial followed at the Sunnyside Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted children, Mrs. Vera R. Everett and her husband, Mr. Anthony Everett of Cordele, Georgia, Ms. Regina M. Hayes of Atlanta, Georgia, and Ms. Marion T. Hayes of Hinesville, Georgia. Her loving grandchildren, Mr. Centavious Roundtree, Ms. Acacia Wedges, Ms. Jaquecia Riviera, Ms. Carlencia Evans, and Mr. Raphael Riviera. Her beloved godchildren, Mrs. Deborah Walker of Araby, Georgia, Ms. Kenyatta Walker of Montgomery, Alabama, Mr. Lorenzo Ashley of Cordele, Georgia, Mr. Anthony Paul of Cordele, Georgia, Ms. Bridget Nelson, and Mr. Jerome Clark, all of Cordele, Georgia, Ms. Shalandra Lango of Vienna, Georgia, and Mrs. Julie Leary of Araby, Georgia. A beloved god sister, Ms. Viola Ezel of Gainesville, Florida. A loving and devoted friend whom she regarded as a brother, Mr. Freddie Peterson of Cordele, Georgia. A host of other relatives and many sorry friends survive Ms. Martha May Hayes, affectionately known as Mama, age 77, of 922 Pateville Heights Circle, Cordele, Georgia. Mr. Scotty Andre West, age 55, of 906 South 14th Street, Cordele, Georgia, died Monday, March 25th at his residence. The public viewing for Mr. Scotty Andre West was held Friday, April 5th at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. Others include his loving and devoted wife, Mrs. Sheila McClendon West of Cordele, Georgia, his loving and caring children, Mr. Chad Spivey and his wife, Mrs. Kayla Spivey of Tifton, Georgia, Mr. Jakari Jackson of Valdosta, Georgia, Mr. Reem Davis and his wife, Mrs. Cassandra Davis of Ashburn, Georgia, Ms. Akara Davis of Cordele, Georgia, and Mr. Sidney Yao of Ashburn, Georgia. 14 grandchildren, 8 great-grandchildren, his loving sister, Ms. Gail Hardiman, and her husband, Mr. Frederick Hardiman of Cordele, Georgia. A beloved brother, Mr. Bobby Hawkins of Helena, Georgia. His aunts and uncles, Mr. Anthony West, Mr. Adrian West, and his wife, Ms. Barbara Ann West, Ms. Georgia May Gaines, Mrs. Phyllis Williams, and her husband, Mr. Johnny Williams of Cordele, Georgia, and Ms. Alexandria Grant and her husband, Mr. Ike Grant of Cordele, Georgia. A host of nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Scotty Andre West, age 55, of 906 South 14th Street, Cordele, Georgia. Beloved Professor Dr. Queen Herring Brown, age 69, of 174 Swan Drive, Cordele, Georgia, died Tuesday, March 26, at her residence. The funeral service for beloved Professor Dr. Queen Herring Brown was held Saturday, April 6, in the sanctuary of the Allen Temple AME Church in Cordele, Georgia. The pastor, Reverend Sonia M. Rivers, officiated. Eulogies were delivered by Reverend Vicki Austin and Reverend Gregory Homer. The burial followed at the Sunnyside Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted husband, Stuart Membrish Brown Sr. of Cordele, Georgia. Her loving and devoted children, Mr. Membrish Brown Jr. of Cordele, Georgia, Ms. Michelle R. Brown of Tampa, Florida, Ms. Cassandra Arnold of Atlanta, Georgia, Ms. LaShonda Brown Gunn of Tampa, Florida, Ms. Veneer Troop of Las Vegas, Nevada, Ms. Shamir Lucas, and Ms. Sonia Danley of Atlanta, Georgia. 19 grandchildren, 8 great-grandchildren, her loving sisters, Mrs. Maureen Monicure of Madison, Wisconsin, and Dr. Marva Herring of Washington, D.C. Her beloved brothers, Mr. Willie Wiggins of Madison, Wisconsin, Mr. Henry Herring of Toledo, Ohio, and Mr. Bonter Lee Herring of Cordele, Georgia. A host of nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive beloved Professor Dr. Queen Herring Brown, age 69, of 174 Swan Drive, Cordele, Georgia. Mr. Christopher Lopez King Jr., better known as Baptiste, age 27, of 1709 Oconee Circle, Cordele, Georgia, died Sunday, March 24th. The funeral service for Mr. Christopher Lopez King Jr. was held Saturday, April 6th, graveside at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. Reverend Willie E. Lockett, pastor of the Greater Pine Chapel Baptist Church, Albany, Georgia, officiated. Survivors include his loving and caring parents, Ms. Mokisha Prater, Mr. Emmanuel Roundtree Sr., Mr. Terrence Harris, and Mr. Christopher King Sr. of Cordele, Georgia. His beloved children, Master Christian King and Master Jalen Johnson of Cordele, Georgia. His beloved grandmother, Miss Arletha Dawson of Cordele, Georgia. His loving sisters, Mrs. Shani Roundtree, Miss Kanisha Whitus, and Miss Whitney Prater of Cordele, Georgia. His beloved brothers, Mr. Devakius Prater, Mr. Emmanuel Roundtree Jr., and Mr. Walter Sereno of Cordele, Georgia. 4 aunts, 7 uncles, a host of cousins, Other relatives and many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Christopher Lopez King Jr., better known as Bounty, age 27, of 1709 Oconee Circle, Cordele, Georgia. Ms. Melicia Ann McLeod, age 59, of 214 East 1st Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Monday, March 11th at her residence. The memorial service for Ms. Melicia Ann McLeod was held Saturday, April 6th, in the sanctuary of the New Harvest Christian Center in Tallahassee, Florida. The pastor, Pastor Gloria Jolly, officiated. Survivors include her beloved companion, Mr. Lonnie Redding of Cordele, Georgia, her loving and devoted daughter, Ms. Tanisha McLeod Parker, and her husband, Mr. Willie Parker of Tallahassee, Florida, her grandson, Mr. Willie Parker III of Cairo, Georgia, a loving sister, Miss Benicia Johnson of Orlando, Florida, a beloved brother, Mr. Samuel B. McLeod of Orlando, Florida, a host of nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive Ms. Melicia Ann McLeod, age 59, of 214 East 1st Avenue, Cordele, Georgia. Again, the family of Ms. Martha May Hayes of Cordele, Georgia, the family of Mr. Scotty Andre West of Cordele, Georgia, the family of beloved Professor Dr. Queen Herring Brown of Cordele, Georgia, the family of Mr. Christopher Lopez King Jr. of Cordele, Georgia, the family of Ms. Melicia Ann McLeod of Cordele, Georgia, would like to thank all of their many friends for all of the many kindnesses shown to them during their hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. May God bless each of you is their prayer. The Jwwilliams funeral directors of Cordele and Vienna were in charge of these arrangements during the past week. And now, it is certainly with the deepest regret that we make the following announcements. Ms. Valerie Lumpkin Toombs, age 58, of 1335 Pierce Street, Perry, Georgia, died Friday, March 15th at her residence. Survivors include her loving and devoted children, Ms. Kalita Lumpkin of Perry, Georgia, Ms. Santrianne Adams of Locust Grove, Georgia, and Mr. Travion Wynn of Fitzgerald, Georgia. 8 loving grandchildren, her loving sisters, Mrs. Ruthie Lumpkin Thornton, Mrs. Belinda Lumpkin Brown, Mrs. Cheryl Lawson, and Ms. Verdell Lumpkin of Fitzgerald, Georgia, Ms. Connie Lumpkin of Oklahoma. Her beloved brothers, Mr. Kent Lawson of Missouri, and Mr. James Lumpkin of Fitzgerald, Georgia. Her aunts and uncles, Mrs. Eddie Mae Taylor, Ms. Gloria Dixon, Mr. Frankie Dixon and his wife, Mrs. Kathy Dixon of Cordele, Georgia. A host of nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many sorry friends survive Ms. Valerie Lumpkin Toombs, age 58, of 1335 Pierce Street, Perry, Georgia. The funeral service for Ms. Valerie Lumpkin Toombs will be held today, Sunday, April 7th, at 2:00 p.m. in the sanctuary of the Resurrection Baptist Church in Warner Robins, Georgia. The pastor, Brother William D. Smith, will officiate. The burial will follow at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. Mr. Dwight Tyrone McKeever, age 56, of 310 West 25th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Monday, April 1st at the Houston Medical Center in Warner Robins, Georgia. Survivors include his loving companion, Ms. Marquita Byron of Cordele, Georgia, his loving daughter, Ms. Michaela McKeever of Cordele, Georgia, his loving sister, Ms. Kimberly L. Reeves of Warner Robins, Georgia, his caring brothers, Mr. Terry McKeever and his wife, Ms. Everline McKeever of Adrian, Georgia, Mr. Walter McKeever Jr. of Cordele, Georgia, Mr. Michael McKeever and his wife, Mrs. Evangeline McKeever of Union City, Georgia, Mr. Scotty McKeever and his wife, Mrs. Carmen McKeever of Riverdale, Georgia, and Mr. Reginald McKeever and his wife, Mrs. LaShonda McKeever of Cordele, Georgia. His aunts and uncle, Ms. Thelma Hall and Mr. Jimmy Simmons of Decatur, Georgia. A host of nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many sorry friends to include Ms. Hattie Cheney, Mr. Jerry Lester, Mr. Frederick Smith, the Colson family, the Reese family, Mr. Marcus G., Mr. Rodney Davis, Mr. Gustavia Lane, and Mr. Melvin Redding survived. Mr. Dwight Tyrone McKeever, age 56, of 310 West 25th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Dwight Tyrone McKeever will be held Friday, April 12th at 11 o'clock a.m. in the chapel of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. Reverend Isaac H. Owens will officiate. The burial will follow at the Pleasant Valley Church Cemetery in Pinehurst, Georgia. The public visitation for Mr. Dwight Tyrone McKeever will be held Thursday, April 11th from 1 until 5 o'clock p.m. at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. Mr. Charlie Daniels, age 71, of 902 Blackshear Road, Cordele, Georgia, died Tuesday, April 2nd at the Crisp Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. A complete listing of family survivors will be announced at a later date for Mr. Charlie Daniels, age 71, of 902 Blackshear Road, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Charlie Daniels will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Willie Davis Paul, age 60, of 2103 South 10th Street, Cordele, Georgia, died Friday, March 29th at the Phoebe Putney Memorial Hospital in Albany, Georgia. A complete listing of family survivors will be given at a later date for Mr. Willie Davis Paul, age 60, of 2103 South 10th Street, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Willie Davis Paul will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Joe Nathan Dykes, age 80, of 600 North Jackson Street, Rochelle, Georgia, died Saturday, April 6th at Wellstar Medical College of Georgia Health in Augusta, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted children, Mrs. Bridget Ohiniway and her husband, Mr. Bright Ohiniway, and Mr. Carl Dykes and his wife, Mrs. Retha Mae Richardson, all of Fitzgerald, Georgia. His loving and devoted mother, Mother Mary Bean Dykes of Rochelle, Georgia. A loving sister, Miss Peggy Harris of Rochelle, Georgia. A host of other relatives and many sorry friends survived. Mr. Joe Nathan Dykes, age 80, of 600 North Jackson Street, Rochelle, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Joe Nathan Dykes, will be announced at a later date pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Fate Brown, age 70, of 1682 Highway 195 North, Leesburg, Georgia, died late Saturday evening, April 6, at the Dawson Health and Rehabilitation Center in Dawson, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted wife, Mrs. Wanda Brown of Leesburg, Georgia. A complete listing of survivors will be announced at a later date for Mr. Fate Brown, age 70, of 1682 Highway 195 North, Leesburg, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Fate Brown will be announced at a later date pending the completion of the arrangements. The Jwwilliams funeral directors of Cordele and Vienna are in charge of these arrangements during this week. And now for our outer area funeral announcement with local ties. The memorial service for Ms. Edith E. Smith, formerly of Cordele, Georgia, will be Saturday, April 13th at Heritage Oaks Mortuary in San Antonio, Texas. Ms. Smith was the daughter of Mr. Dewey Tripp Sr. and Ms. Ferris Tripp. The Heritage Oaks Mortuary of San Antonio, Texas is in charge of all arrangements. Friends, that concludes our announcements for this morning. As always, at this time, we'd like to remind you concerning advanced funeral planning that's available at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. If you have questions or concerns in regards to advanced funeral planning, we invite you to give us a call that we might be able to set up an appointment and that you might be able to come in and we will sit down and discuss advanced funeral planning with you. We'd also like to remind you that whole life insurance is available at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. We have a licensed insurance agent on staff, and we'll be so happy to answer any questions or concerns that you may have. So give us a call to the Jwwilliams Funeral Home, and we will schedule an appointment and go over these questions and answer any questions that you might have in regards to advanced funeral planning and whole life insurance. And now for announcements. The Pleasant Hill Baptist Church of Byronville, Georgia annual Men and Women's Day service will be observed today, Sunday, April 7th, beginning at 11 o'clock a.m. Dr. C. Pam Fields of Americus, Georgia, and Deacon Charles Ivory of Montezuma, Georgia, will be the guest speakers. Sister Gloria Lucas is the reporter. Deacon Jimmy Redding is the chairman of deacons. Reverend Rodney Duncan is the pastor. The Friendship Baptist Church of Findlay, Georgia annual Women's Day program will be observed on Sunday, April 14th at 2 o'clock p.m. The St. John Baptist Church, along with its pastor, Pastor Evelyn Wallace, will be the guest church. Dinner will be served. Sister Inez H. Johnson is the secretary. Reverend Joseph Atkins is the pastor. The Mount Moriah Baptist Church of Unadilla mission anniversary will be observed on Sunday, April 21st at 1:30 p.m. The Union Grove Baptist Church of Warner Robins, Georgia, and Dr. David Robbins will be the special guest. Everyone has a cordial invitation to attend. Sister Linda Ann Jordan, mission president. Deacon Earl Jordan, chairman of deacons. Reverend Edward Lester is the pastor. The Antioch Baptist Church will celebrate the 8th anniversary of Pastor Ricky and First Lady Veranda Cladd today, Sunday, April 7th at 11 o'clock a.m. A special program has been planned and dinner will be served following the program. Sister Kay Laster, Secretary, Deacon David Laster, Chairman of Deacons, Pastor Ricky Cladd is the pastor. The Greater New Lebanon Baptist Church of Plains, Georgia, Four Gospel Writers Program will be observed on Sunday, April 14th at 3 o'clock p.m. The speakers are Evangelist Sarah Dice, Pastor Ronrika Gordon, Pastor Christopher O'Brien, and Pastor Horace Holloway. Everyone has a cordial invitation to attend. Deacon Calvin Mansfield, Chairman of Deacons, Reverend Glenn M. Bryant Sr. is the pastor. The Jerusalem Baptist Church of Ellerville, Georgia Youth Day services will be on Sunday, April 14th at 11 o'clock a.m. Minister Brenda Jones of Here of Inspiration Ministries Incorporated will be the guest speaker. Everyone has a cordial invitation to attend. Dr. Deanne Holsey is the pastor. The Old Corinth Baptist Church of Leslie, Georgia annual revival services will begin on Tuesday, April 16th through Thursday, April 18th at 7 o'clock p.m. each evening. On program will be Tuesday, Jerusalem Grove Baptist Church, Antioch Baptist Church, and Pastor Reverend Ricky Cladd. Wednesday, I Believe Baptist Church and Pastor Horace Holloway. The third, Thursday, Antioch Baptist Church and Pastor Kenneth Gooch. Sunday, April 21st at 10 o'clock a.m., the pastor, Dr. C.L. McKinstry, will deliver the message. Everyone has a cordial invitation to worship in these services. Sister Janie Roberts, Secretary, Deacon Eldridge Mercer is the Chairman of Deacons, Dr. C.L. McKinstry is the pastor. Everyone has a cordial invitation to worship at the New Corinth Baptist Church of Leslie each third Sunday beginning at 10 o'clock a.m. Reverend Carl Smith is the pastor. The McAfee Grove Baptist Church of Leesburg invites everyone to worship with them during this family night on Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m., small class studies on Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m., Sunday morning worship service at 9 o'clock a.m. Minister Twanda Daniels, Secretary, Dr. Robert L. Morgan Sr. is the pastor. The Mountain Island Baptist Church of Warwick, Georgia, Friend and Family Day service will be on Sunday, April 7th, today, beginning at 10 o'clock a.m. Mother Willie Mae Walker is the church mother. Deacon Jimmy Fagan is the chairman of deacons. Bishop Jerome Milton is the pastor. The beautiful Zion Baptist Church of Cordele will climax the 20th anniversary of Pastor Reverend Lorinda Ray today, Sunday, April 7th, during the 11 o'clock worship service. On program will be the Little Rock Baptist Church, along with the Mission of Hope and Davis Chapel churches in charge. Reverend Joseph Green will deliver the message. Everyone is cordially invited to attend. Mother Donna Mae Childs is the church mother. Reverend Lorinda Ray is the pastor. You're invited to join Rho Sigma Omega at Lake Blackshear Golf Club and Resort to celebrate Mrs. Lucille G. Harris for 65 years of service to all mankind. This event will be held on Saturday, April 13th at 7 o'clock p.m. The meet and greet will begin at 6 o'clock p.m. The gala will start right after. The cost is $40 per person. All proceeds benefit the Educational Advancement Foundation. The Greater Mars Tabernacle Baptist Church of Cordele 120th church anniversary and the 33rd anniversary of its pastor, Dr. K.M. Williams, will begin on Tuesday, April 16th through Thursday, April 18th at 7 o'clock p.m. On program will be Tuesday, the Friendship Baptist Church of Americus, Georgia, and Bishop Melvin McCluster. Wednesday, the Odom Grove Baptist Church and Reverend Jeff Wilson. Thursday, the Crossroad Baptist Church, St. James Baptist Church, and Reverend Nelson Maynard. The anniversaries will climax on Sunday, April 21st at 9:30 a.m. The Concord Baptist Church of Lake Park, Georgia, along with the Mount Calvary Baptist Church of Fitzgerald, Georgia, and Reverend Donald Walker will be the guest speaker. Everyone is cordially invited to attend. Mother Mary Henderson, church mother, Deacon Arthur L. Parker, chairman of deacons, Dr. K.M. Williams is the pastor. The Brown Chapel Church of New Beginnings 50th anniversary and the 10th pastor's anniversary of Pastor L.B. Hicks will be observed on Friday, April 19th, beginning at 7:30 p.m. Saturday, April 20th at 5 o'clock p.m., and the services will climax on Sunday, April 21st at 2 o'clock p.m. Our program will be Pastor Donnie Ray Hall, Pastor Nelson Maynard, Elder J.C. and Minister Annette Clark, and Pastor Lamar Thomas. Everyone is cordially invited to join in this celebration, as they will also be honoring the 50-year legacy of Godfather, Reverend D.L. Brown. Everyone is cordially invited to attend. Pastor L.B. Hicks is the pastor. The new William Grove Baptist Church of Cordele Family and Friends Day service will be observed on Sunday, April 21st at 11 o'clock a.m. Everyone is cordially invited to attend. Mother Gradine Ford, Church Mother, Deacon Winfred Green, Chairman of Deacons, Reverend Nikita Lester is the pastor. The St. James Baptist Church announces the ordination celebration of Brother Michael Starks on Sunday, April 21st. The press will begin at 1:30 p.m. The ordination service will begin at 2 o'clock p.m. A reception will follow in the church dining hall. Reverend Nelson Maynard is the pastor. New Image of God Ministries of Araby, Georgia will have an autism awareness program on Sunday, April 21st at 11 o'clock a.m. Sister Kamisha Spears will be the guest speaker. Everyone is invited to attend this very informative program. Pastor Ola Shepherd is the pastor. Restoration Church of Americas, under the leadership of Overseer Caleb Edge, is elated to announce the launch of the Restoration Church of Cordele, Friday, April 26th at 7 o'clock p.m. at 1001 Blackshear Road, Cordele, Georgia. Overseer Caleb Edge is the pastor. Deacon Joe Wedges would like to thank everyone for their prayers, calls, cards, and all acts of kindness shown to him while he was a patient at Chris Regional Hospital. A very special thanks to his Uncle Earl and Aunt Ruthie Griffin and the entire staff of Chris Regional Hospital. May God bless each of you is his prayer, and this comes from Deacon Joe Wedges. Now open Right Choice DUI School of Warner Robins, offering online and in-person classes. Weekday and weekend classes are also available. For more information, please call 478-210-6346. Again, that number is 478-210-6346. The Fort Valley State University Cliff County Head Start is now accepting applications for the 2024-2025 school year. If you are interested, please visit the Head Start Center at 1110 South 12th Street, Cordele, Georgia, to complete an application. For more information, please contact Ms. Laquita Genwhite at 229-276-9880. Again, that number is 229-276-9880. Everyone has a cordial invitation to worship at the Greater Mars Tabernacle Baptist Church today. Sunday school begins at 9 o'clock a.m., worship service at 9:30 a.m. You may join them for the midday prayer conference at 12 o'clock noon, Thursday prayer meeting and Bible study at 6 o'clock p.m. Mother Mary Henderson is the church mother. Deacon Arthur L. Clark is the chairman of deacons. Dr. K.M. Williams is the pastor. Everyone is cordially invited to worship with the Mount Zion First African Baptist Church in its conference call schedule Sunday morning at 10 o'clock a.m., prayer Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 o'clock noon. Bible study is held each Wednesday at 5 o'clock p.m. The call-in number is 339-209-6419. Again, that number is 339-209-6419. Deacon Joe Wedges is the chairman of deacons. Dr. Dan James III is the pastor. You're cordially invited to worship at the Gethsemane Baptist Church today. Worship service begins at 10:30 a.m. Mother Mary Butler, church mother. Deacon Johnny Wilson, chairman of deacons. Reverend Cecil Strother is the pastor. Everyone has a cordial invitation to worship at the New Oak Grove Baptist Church today. Sunday school begins at 9:15 a.m. Worship service at 10 o'clock a.m. Face covering is required. Deacon Alonzo Jones, Chairman of Deacons. Reverend W. Wilson is the pastor. You have a cordial invitation to worship with the Great Gulf Creek Baptist Church today and each first, second, third, and fourth Sunday. Worship service begins at 10:30 a.m. Mother Norma Solomon is the church mother. Deacon Zachary Fields is the chairman of deacons. Reverend Joseph Hagelbrook is the pastor. You're invited to worship at the Mount Calvary Baptist Church today. Worship service begins at 10:45 a.m. Everyone has a cordial invitation to attend, as well as share in the celebration and sharing of Holy Communion today. The worship service begins at 10:45 a.m. Mother Evelyn Lewis, church mother. Deacon Leon Spears, chairman of deacons. Reverend Isaac H. Owens is the pastor. Friends, that concludes our announcements for this morning. And as always, we invite you that if you have announcements that you would like for us to use on a Sunday morning program, that you may bring them to us, drop them off at the funeral home Monday through Saturday up until 12 o'clock noon on Saturdays. You may fax them to us at 229-273-5111. Again, that number is 229-273-5111. Or you may email your announcements to us at info@jwwilliams.com. Again, that's info, I-N-F-O, @jwwilliams.com. And now for dedications. Our first selection this morning is dedicated in loving memory of Ms. Mildred Swanson, who would have celebrated her birthday on April 6th. Dedication requested by the entire family. In loving memory of Mother Esther Smart, who departed this life April 9th, 2010. Dedication requested by the family. In loving memory of Brother Leroy Atkins, who would have celebrated his birthday on April 10th. Dedication requested by the Atkins family. In loving memory of Ms. Rose Baldwin, who departed this life April 11th, 1997. Also in loving memory of Mr. George Baldwin, who departed this life April 12th, 2005. Dedications requested by Ms. Shirley Ray and family. In loving memory of Mother Maddie Bell Clark, who would have celebrated her birthday on April 12th. Dedication requested by the entire family. In loving memory of Ms. Dorothy Elaine Lofton, who would have celebrated her birthday April 14th. Dedication requested by Minister Ola Lofton and the entire Lofton family. In loving memory of Mr. Johnny B. Dennis, who would have celebrated his birthday on April 14th. Dedication requested by the Dennis and Colson family. In loving memory of Mr. Earl Lee Davis, who would have celebrated his birthday on April 15th. Dedication requested by Ms. Mary Frances Davis. We would like to wish a very special happy wedding anniversary, happy 27th wedding anniversary to Deacon Sammy and Sister Shanice McGill, who celebrated their anniversary on Friday, April 5th. Dedication requested by their children, grandchildren, the entire McGill and Parker families, as well as the members of the Mount Moriah Baptist Church. All pause to say happy 27th wedding anniversary to Deacon Sammy and Sister Shanice McGill. Happy 34th anniversary to Mr. Michael and Mrs. Mary Stark, who celebrated their anniversary, and also happy birthday to Sister Mary Starks, who celebrated her birthday as well. Dedication requested by the entire Starks family, as well as the members of the St. James Baptist Church. Happy birthday to Miss Patricia Williams, who will celebrate her birthday on Saturday, April 13th. Dedication requested by the entire family. Happy birthday to Mr. Jaden Ray, who celebrated his birthday on Monday, April 1st. Also, happy birthday to Miss Sheena Ray, who will celebrate her birthday on Wednesday, April 10th. Dedication requested by Mr. James and Mrs. Gayla Bleach and the entire family. Happy birthday to Mr. Norman F. Dexter Jr., also known as Dale, who celebrated his birthday on Thursday, April 4th. Dedication requested by his parents, Chief Master Sergeant Norman F. Dexter Sr. and Dr. Gwendolyn Maxine Dexter, his sister Miss Toria Dexter, and the entire family, as they all say, happy birthday, Dale, and God will bless you to see many, many more. Happy birthday to our friend and brother, Reverend Dion Jones, who celebrated his birthday on Saturday, April 6th. Dedication requested by his wife, Miss Cynthia Jones, his family, and all the members of the New Oak Grove Baptist Church. Happy birthday to Mr. Marcus Talbert, who is celebrating his birthday today, Sunday, April 7th. Dedication requested by his son, Mr. Marcus Talbert Jr., his mother, Mrs. Juanita Talbert, and the entire Talbert and Mathis families. Happy birthday to Mr. Walter Mobley Jr., who will celebrate his birthday on Tuesday, April 9th. Dedication requested by the entire Mobley family, as well as the staff of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. Another birthday on the staff of J.W. Williams Funeral Home, we say happy belated birthday to Deacon Donald K. Hamilton Jr., who celebrated his birthday on March 30th. Dedication requested by his wife, Mrs. Alberta Hamilton, his children, grandchildren, the members of the Gethsemane Baptist Church, as well as the staff of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Another birthday that we will pause and remember at this time, happy birthday to Mr. Terrell Owens, who will celebrate his birthday on Tuesday, April 9th. Dedication requested by the entire Owens family, as well as the staff of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. And one other birthday that we celebrate in our family, we say happy birthday to Mr. Isaac Owens II, who we all know as Deuce, who will celebrate his birthday on Friday, April 12th. Dedication comes from his son and daughter and the entire family as we pause to say happy birthday to Deuce. Pray that God will bless you both to see many, many more. The selection this morning is being dedicated to Mr. Johnny and Mrs. Barbara Dennis and family, for Mother Lucille Harris and family, for Mrs. Gwen Westbrook and family, for Ms. Lucille McGill and family, for Mr. Oscar and Mrs. Patricia McGill and family, Mr. Dravian and Ms. Kathy McGill and family, for Deacon George and Mrs. Ann Whitehead and family, for Ms. Geraldine Harvey and family, Deacon Eugene and Mrs. Deborah Williams and family, Miss Angela Carter and family, Mr. Johnny Williams and family, for Miss Yolanda Jenkins and family, Miss Alicia Davis and family, Mr. Bradley Brown and family, for Mrs. Yvette Brown and family, for the entire Brown family, for Mrs. Vivian Colbert and family, Miss Deborah Millage and family, for Miss Sarah Boone and family, Miss Crystal Woodham and family, Miss Brianna Bridges and family, Miss Christy Carter and family, for Mr. Taurus Hubbard and family, Mr. Montrell Merritt and family, for Mr. Troy Boone and family, for Mr. Jeffrey Boone and family, Mr. Bobby Cobb and family, Mr. Jeffrey and Miss Cheryl Boone and family, for Miss Mary Ellen Grant and family, Reverend Ivory and Mrs. Dorothy Corbin and family, for Miss Lois Butts and family, for Miss Bernice Dexter and family, for Miss Rosie Smith and family. Selection this morning is also being dedicated to Miss Gladys Adderley and family. Our first selection this morning.
Nobody greater. Peter wasn't greater. He's still in the grave. Muhammad wasn't greater. He's still in the grave. But Jesus Christ of Nazareth is the only God they put in the grave for 3 days later. Oh, go check out the tomb. He ain't there. You can check it out. He ain't there no more. Because he's sitting on the right hand of his Father. So we have a simple song we sing. It says, I searched all over. Couldn't find nobody. I searched high and low. I still couldn't find nobody. Nobody greater. Yes, sir. Nobody greater. Nobody greater than God.
to Reverend and Mrs. Willie Lockett and family, for Mr. Charles Lockett and family, for Mrs. Alexandria Holton and family, for Mr. Glenn and Ms. Barbara Adams and family, for Mr. Andre and Ms. Vanessa Christopher and family, for Ms. Geneva White Waters and family, for the entire Waters family, for Ms. Claudia Waters and family, Ms. Samantha Waters and family. Also, this morning's section is being dedicated to Mr. and Mrs. Greg Peterson and family, for Ms. Tiffany Williams and family, Ms. Nikithia Williams and family, Mr. Michael Mackey and Ms. Shakita Mackey, for Ms. Erin Davis and family, Mr. James White and family, for Mother Edna May Clay and the Clay and Bivens family, for Ms. Esther Johnson and family, for Mr. Marlon and Mrs. Alvita Paul and family, Mr. and Mrs. Courtney Oliver and family. The selection this morning is also being dedicated to Deacon Leon and Minister Kathy Spears and family, for Ms. Cynthia Pollock and family, Mr. James and Ms. Lucy Trice and family, for Mr. and Mrs. Keith Wilson and family, for Ms. Barbara Wilson and family, for Ms. Mary Wilson Kinchin and family, for Deacon Frank and Ms. Elizabeth Brown and family, for Ms. Gail Darby and family, for Ms. Brenda Dent Redding and family, for Mr. Carlo King and family, for Ms. Zelda Johnson and family, Ms. Myra Mitchell and family, for Ms. Alice Bryant and family, retired fire chief Augusta Telfair and family. Selection this morning is also being dedicated to Mr. and Mrs. Larry Smith and family, Mr. Kelvin and Mrs. Carol Morrell and family, for the entire Morrell family, for Ms. Mary Frances Davis and family, for Mother Thelma Porter and family, for Ms. Shalonda Donaldson and family, for Mr. Justin Colbert and family, for Ms. Thelma Brown and family, for Mother William McGill and family, for Ms. Gwen Gaston and family, for Mr. Judge and Mrs. Tommy Glenn and family, for the entire Quarterman family, for Ms. Marilyn Hamilton and family, for Mr. and Mrs. Otis Ray and family, for Mr. Joseph Glenn and family, for Ms. Teresia Stubbins and family, Ms. Mashonda Holmes and family, for Ms. Quita Jackson and family, for Ms. Mary Alice Rawls and family, for Ms. Willie Pearl Reed and family, for Bishop Maggie Washington family, for Mother Jessie K. Harmon and family, Elder Garner and Ms. Beulah Morgan and family. This section is also being dedicated to Ms. Juanita Mumford and family, for the entire Dennis family, Ms. Sidney Ruff and family, for Ms. Willie Mae Leary and the entire Leary family, for Ms. Valerie Carter and family. The selection this morning is also being dedicated to Mr. Charles and Ms. Vivian Daniels and family, for Ms. Lois Reynolds and family, for Ms. Claudette Armstrong and family, the Christopher family, the Mobley family, for the entire Levant family, for Reverend and Mrs. Nelson Main and family, Reverend Fred and Mrs. Jackie Brown and family, for Deacon Leroy and Minister Diane Thomas and family, for the entire Westbrook family, for Reverend Artis and Ms. LaShawn Westbrook and family, for Mr. Donald and Mrs. Ruby Daniels and family. It is certainly with the deepest regret that we make the following announcements. Mrs. Valerie Lumpkin Toombs, age 58, of 1335 Pierce Street, Perry, Georgia, died Friday, March 15th at her residence. The funeral service for Ms. Valerie Lumpkin Toombs will be announced at a later date. The funeral service for Ms. Valerie Lumpkin Toombs will be held today, Sunday, April 7th at 2 o'clock p.m. at the Resurrection Baptist Church in Warner Robins, Georgia. The pastor, Reverend William Smith, will officiate. The burial will follow at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. Mr. Dwight Tyrone McKeever, age 56, of 310 West 25th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Monday, April 1st at the Houston Medical Center in Warner Robins, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Dwight Tyrone McKeever will be held Friday, April 12th at 11 o'clock a.m. in the chapel of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. Reverend Isaac H. Owens will officiate. The burial will follow at the Pleasant Valley Church Cemetery in Pinehurst, Georgia. Mr. Willie Davis Paul, age 60, of 2103 South 10th Street, Cordele, Georgia, died Friday, March 29th at the Phoebe Putney Memorial Hospital in Albany, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Willie Davis Paul will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Charlie Daniels Jr., age 71, of 902 Blackshear Road, Cordele, Georgia, died Tuesday, April 2nd at the Crisp Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Charlie Daniels Jr. will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Joe Nathan Dykes, age 80, of 600 North Jackson Street, Rochelle, Georgia, died Saturday, April 6th at Wellstar Medical College of Georgia Health in Augusta, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Joe Nathan Dykes will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Fate Brown, age 70, of 1682 Highway 195 North, Leesburg, Georgia, died late Saturday, April 6th at the Dawson Health and Rehabilitation Center in Dawson, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Fate Brown will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. The Jwwilliams funeral directors of Cordele and Vienna are in charge of these arrangements during this week. Our final selection this morning is dedicated to the bereaved families whose loved ones were laid to rest during the past week. The family of Ms. Martha May Hayes of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mr. Scotty Andre West of Cordele, Georgia. The family of beloved Professor Dr. Queen Herring Brown of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mr. Christopher Lopez King Jr. of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Ms. Malicia Ann McLeod of Cordele, Georgia. This selection is dedicated to the bereaved families whose loved ones will be laid to rest during this week. The family of Ms. Valerie Lumpkin Toombs of Perry, Georgia. The family of Mr. Dwight Tyrone Keeper of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mr. Willie Davis Paul of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mr. Charlie Daniels Jr. of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mr. Joe Nathan Dykes of Rochelle, Georgia. The family of Mr. Fate Brown of Leesburg, Georgia. This selection is dedicated to all of our sick and shut-ins, to all of our patients in the local and surrounding hospitals, nursing homes, rehabilitation centers, to our ministers and their families and their spouses as well, to our retired educators, to the men and women serving in the armed forces, both stateside and abroad, to all veterans, and to everyone who listens to our program each and every Sunday morning. It is a pleasure for us to bring this program to you. Our program this morning in its entirety is dedicated in loving memory of our past president, Dr. Napoleon Williams. We dedicate our program this morning to our president, CEO, Deacon Arthur L. Parker, his wife, Ms. Glenda Wilkerson Parker, to their son, Jai, and to the entire Wilkerson and Parker family. This morning, we also dedicate our program this morning to each of you who tune in each and every Sunday morning. We're so happy that you tune in and that you join our program each and every Sunday morning. We pray God's blessings upon you as you prepare for another week. We encourage you to worship in the church of your choice today. Until next Sunday morning, our final selection this morning.
He's
morning. We hope you've enjoyed our program. Tune in again on next Sunday morning. And remember, in your time of need, contact the competent, capable, and dependable staff at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home.